On. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I made Timothy laugh, I made him laugh. But happy Sunday and welcome to the Fear the Walking Dead after show here at the Stream.tv. I don't know what to say about tonight's episode yet. I've got to find all the words to get through this show because it was interesting.
Very interesting.
So, but first, to break it down, I've got my lovely co-host, and we're going to start across the table. I know we got a table tonight, but we're going to start across the table. Timothy.
Hey everybody, my name is Timothy Michael. Yeah, this episode was interesting. I will steal the word from you. Interesting is a good one.
Oh.
And the lovely.
I am Kiyra Lynn, if you didn't already know. And yeah, we were just like, what the hell is going on for a mid-season finale? I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah,
Right?
it was a lot, but we're going to dive into that. But first, we have to let you know to subscribe and hop on the chat. Kiyra is on the chat, so she's going to be able to see what you guys are thinking about tonight's episode. And then also, Tim is on Twitter, so you can tweet us, hashtag FTWDAS. So tweet us and let you know what you think tonight.
Yes.
All right, so before we hop in, we just want to let you guys know and to thank you for the pictures, all the fear faces for our getaway.
Getaway.
I'm trying to go on vacation
We're ready
for
to
our
get away.
giveaway. But to thank you for all the fear faces for the giveaway. They were scary. You guys made scary zombies. And at the end of the show, we're going to show you some of the fear faces that we received, and we're going to mail out some goodies to you. Some swag. Yes. All right, let's dive into Daniel.
Please. Yes.
Daniel stressed me out and worried me this entire episode. I don't know. Well, let me start off with saying that I'm a little offended being a native Californian that everybody is cracking and going crazy from California, and that the Atlanta crew nobody went crazy right away.
A few people went crazy, but I mean...
But this crew is going totally crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're like three. There's
Yeah.
three of them that
Yeah.
are like seeing people and like, what is going on? They're drinking the water in Mexico, aren't they?
When you said that, I was like... This
Travis
is.
Travis is, but Daniel's having some, so we're getting backstories and flashbacks from him and things that happened in his past. And Kiyra, you also nailed it a couple of episodes, or maybe about 2 episodes ago. You said, was it Daniel killing a boy, or was it strangling a boy, or was it, and that was Daniel.
Yes, Daniel was the one. He was the little boy. And
Right.
He was such a cute little boy. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Daniel, this episode, I just think that the character development with Daniel, like we got his backstory, and there were just so many points when we were watching that I just saw the look in his eyes, and I can't tell you, every time his wife would show up, my heart would just, this actor is amazing. I love
Let's
him.
dive into that for a second, because I kind of want to talk about that. Do we think that Daniel is suffering from PTSD, or is he like hallucinating from another medical condition? Because I was a little confused. Is it like more of like a war refugee?
Well, you're saying what's the
thing?
onset, and that's what
Yeah.
I don't know. What triggered all of this? I mean, is it the fact that the world is coming to an end, or all of this
Well, I
is
think
happening?
that in the last episode when you saw the little choir boy, I feel like that's what the main trigger was. I mean, it was kind of always there. I guess PTSD is always there. It just needs a trigger, and I think that's what really set him off.
Yeah, that's true.
The little
Yeah.
boy when they were all in that battle in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, he ended up tied up in what looked like, what was that room? It was like a boiler room with what were they doing on
But wasn't there a cage in there?
There was
There's
a
a
cage.
cage.
There were it looks like someone
It's
was
a
making
winery.
wine. It was a winery, really?
It's what we were calling the farm. Is
Okay,
a winery.
it's a winery. All right, so
What do they need a cage in a winery for?
I don't know.
For those drinkers.
Oh.
but they had him.
When they drink too much wine.
They had him down there, and Celia, he had a whole conversation with her. Celia, we're going to get to her, but she's nuts. But he had an entire conversation with her, and what do you guys think about Celia and Daniel, and what Celia wanted Daniel to believe about, the infected?
I liked that conversation because it kind of put in. Here's the thing. Religion in itself is a little weird for me. We'll get a little personal here. And I feel like what they believe is completely A, unfounded, and B, completely made up. I'm like, yes, you believe it 100%, but I just don't see how anybody could believe this. It's like Donald Trump running for president. I'm like, I know that you support him, but how could you possibly support him? I just don't understand. I mean, and then I like what she said when he was like, well, did you poison the soup? And she's like, oh, I'm not going to poison it. I'm not the killer here. And I'm like, how warped are you in your head to be like, oh, I'm not the killer here, but I literally killed all of these people in a church.
Right.
I don't understand her mindset.
Which is the reason why I think we actually enjoyed Celia as a character coming in, because she was off of a rocker. And she basically, you know, she did believe what she believed. And at least Celia as a character had a standpoint, you know?
Yeah.
And at least there was depth there. Whereas like all the other main characters at this point, I'm just kind of like,
I think what my problem was with that though is where did the depth come from? Where did this position of,
Like, we don't have Celia's backstory. That's basically what
Right.
you're saying. Is like we don't know enough about Celia, and I kind of felt like, why are we? I understand there's other elements that are out there, but why are we still here? I mean, I always jump over to The Walking Dead because, you know, it's the sister show, and so why not? But I mean, we left Terminus. Why are we not leaving this place? I mean, this woman is locking up and caging infected people. Why not?
well,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
well,
saying?
I mean, in defense, The Walking Dead Terminus was like season 4,
Yeah,
so
you're
they
right.
didn't really.
Okay.
I mean, we always compare it to The Farm, which is more comparable because that was like season 2, and it's like the first kind of glimpse of hope and of safety that this group has had. So I get why they stuck to it. I can understand why Madison was like, Strand, you're on your own. Sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
Because she just wants her family to be safe, which we obviously that blew up in our face.
right.
Which
Well,
we'll get to.
Are we going to talk about that?
You know what? First, let's go to Chris.
Yeah.
Why not? Before, because Celia is a piece of work, and I really feel like we need to really flesh her out. I want to put her at the end. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Chris is completely cracked.
Right.
Chris is. We thought he had cracked before, but he is gone.
He is crazy.
What did you say he was?
Chris
Do your hashtag.
Oh, Chris is cray. He is insane. Thank you,
Yeah, he
Sonia
is.
Kinney.
I love that. High five. I love that.
Sonia Kinney, one of our amazing YouTube watchers, actually wrote that in one of the comments. And Chris is insane.
Yeah, he is, and he ran off, kidnapped some little kid.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
and then tried to kill his dad. Like, okay, what has made Chris snap like that?
Can we put this in perspective though? You don't just go from 0 to 60
That's what I'm saying.
in like a day. So I feel like going from like just I'm a little worried about Madison and Alicia saying something, which Alicia did tell Travis about Chris, which is why he went after him, just to put it in context. And then him like taking these poor people literally hostage, you guys.
Right.
He literally went into this man's house, took this little boy and said, "My dad is coming for me. If you tell him that I'm not here, otherwise I'm going to hurt your son."
Right, exactly.
my
And he's in the
gosh.
room with him like that, and his dad
Like, I can get if Daniel did something like this,
Right.
but Chris grew up in, like, yeah, I get your mom is dead. I understand that you're going through a lot. But at the same time, like, you didn't grow up in, like, any kind of, like, hardship.
And the other thing about it too is that we haven't. I know we've spent a season with Chris, but we haven't really gotten to know Chris all that well. We don't know Chris like we know, let's say, Carl. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if Carl cracked, well, I'm just saying, like, we know him, you know,
Right.
from the time he was a little boy. I know you don't like Carl, but but I'm just saying that, like, we don't know Chris yet. So I'm not invested enough in him to, like, understand him cracking so fast. So, but whatever. He tried to kill his dad, and now his dad wants to stay in Mexico, roaming around, no house to help
No
his
supplies.
son.
Well, he doesn't even have any shoes.
But he
No
says he wants
shoes.
to get him help, and I'm like, what do you think? There's a clinic around the corner where you're just going to get him some, like, psychological help?
Well, wait. And he not only leaves his wife and his the other part. Well, technically I know Madison isn't his wife, but
Right.
we'll just call it for what it is. And basically leaves the family that he came there with to go where? We still don't know that.
But you know what, Jess? I'm glad that you brought that whole thing up because you're right. There is no clinic around the corner. And I'm glad that Fear the Walking Dead is kind of diving into this whole, like, what if you do have a mental condition? Like, what do you do? Like, Nick is kind of going through whatever he's going through mentally. And, you know, Strand kind of touched up on that with Madison at the burial site. But it's like, with Chris, it's like, if you are this far gone, which I feel like he is,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Rub some dirt on it.
Oh,
There's nothing you can do.
You know what happens? This is what happens. You go Carol and you pull a Lizzie.
Thank you for
That's
bringing
what's
it
gonna
out,
end up
'cause I was
No,
about to
you're
happening.
say
right.
it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that.
You're
And
right.
so
Pull a
Travis,
Carol.
I don't know what Travis is going to do with him because Chris is cracked, but Travis has made the decision not to return to Madison and the rest of them at the house,
And they're
at the
in
compound.
Mexico, and he doesn't speak any Spanish.
He doesn't speak Spanish. He has absolutely no resources. There's no food. There's not. He doesn't even have shoes.
Right.
And
No, he was given shoes.
He didn't have shoes in the first place.
Well, he did. Yeah, right. He didn't have shoes in the first place. He has bloody socks. And so, what is he actually going to do to help Chris at this point? He needs to go back and at least get him somewhere. I don't know, but I feel like that was a disappointment for me tonight.
I
think Chris's story was a bit of a disappointment for me tonight.
I mean, I kind of like the morbid turn that it took, but I think I'm on the same page with
Yeah.
you guys. It's a little disappointing.
My thing was I liked just when he pulled off his socks and Jocelyn went, oh my gosh.
It's really gross.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And when I also thought, you guys, that they were slaughtering the pig.
Yes.
And I thought they were going to show it, so I had another freak out moment. But
I wish you
besides
guys
that,
could see Jocelyn's reactions because honestly, while we're watching the show, she is hilarious.
maybe we'll post it for you next time. Okay, so Nick. Nick is walking among the dead again. He's dead walking. This is Nick's thing. I feel like we're wearing this out a little bit.
Yes.
Yes.
And I am so trying not. Okay, let me just get real honest for half a second here. I'm really, I'm trying not to shit on the show this episode. I'm trying not to. But this episode was just so disjointed to me
Yes.
that it's like I have to call it out. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm gonna hang in
Obviously,
there
yeah.
always. But there were some things that just didn't connect for me. Okay, so Nick is walking among, now he just puts it on and showers it off and puts it on again.
Right. Well, and then it's kind of like it jumped. They had that one scene. Was it the scene with Celia, talking out, calling out Strand and, having that confrontation with Strand. And then all of a sudden it just jumps to Nick coming back with Luis.
Right.
Like, it's like, what happened there? Okay, where did he make this decision all of a sudden? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe.
No. I mean, he said to Madison later on in the episode that he went to go find Louise so that his family can stay in essential safety. But I just don't, I just feel like to find the positive in this, it's like, I feel like viewers, including us, are really never happy.
Yeah.
Because in The Walking Dead, if you guys remember, we're all like, oh, well, why don't you guys, cover yourself in guts and walk among them like they did in season 1. And it's like, okay, well, if they did that too much like they're doing in Fear, people aren't happy about it.
Right.
Well, I think that also, in its defense, after I just went off about it.
On the flip side.
I know, on the flip side of it, Strand, when he was talking to Madison and he was, digging the grave, he really explained it really well. He explained what's up with Nick really well to her. Because he was saying, if you have all the problems and all the issues that Nick has, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into this type of world,
Miss Jocelyn, I do have to point out, you called that out a couple of episodes ago. You did.
Yeah, that addicted behavior, and now he's just, and it's hard for her as a mother because now he's addicted to something else. And I feel like Celia, she knew that about him, and she honed in on that situation with him, knowing that he had this liking for that life, and so that thus became the battle between Madison and Celia.
Right.
Which we resulted in terrible things. But but he went to go look for Travis and Chris, and one of the things that I thought was very troubling is that he's gonna. Well, now he's walking among the dead, but I thought that if he goes back and holds up with what Travis says, Travis put him in a position to lie to his mother.
Yes.
And say that he didn't find them.
Well, do we think that is unreasonable? Because knowing Madison, don't we think that she would go after them? If he told them where they were and what Travis's mindset, no, we're gonna stay out here and God knows do what, I'm sure Madison would go after them.
I agree.
So I think that even if he didn't tell Nick to lie, I would hope that Nick would have lied.
But here's my thing. Travis, you're making a decision for what is best for your son. So don't tell me to go lie to my mother. That's how I feel about it. Because you're making a decision to separate yourself based on what's good for your son. Now you're putting me in a position against my mother, and you're not having nothing to do with us.
But that's the thing, though. Nick was obviously okay with that. He walked in basically saying, I need you to come back. Mom is hurting because of what's going on here. And he didn't struggle with Travis. No. He didn't say anything. He just agreed with it and walked away.
And in all fairness, he wasn't even expecting Nick to go after them.
True.
They weren't even going to show up. They were just going to not even come back.
That's true.
So if Nick hadn't went and found them, then Madison wouldn't even got that message.
And then in the end, he left his mom anyway. So, because he walked off too with no supplies.
All I have to say is at least Nick speaks a little bit of Spanish. Little bit of Spanish.
Poquito.
Poquito. Un
Okay,
poquito.
so, but he's having major problems, like we said, and we saw the end result of that, of him walking off, because with Madison, we saw them by the pool, and they're really going at it, you know, and I think Madison felt threatened because of the position that Celia was playing in his life, and just his overall like enthrallment and all this dead life and all of that kind of stuff, and so they definitely hit an impasse, and now he's just going to be walking around Mexico covered in
And do you know
guts.
who I feel bad about in this entire situation besides Madison is Alicia. Because in season 1, they had this conversation. I mean, they've had this brother and sister relationship, obviously, and they've had this chaotic relationship of him going on these drug binges and leaving her, and she never knowing when he's going to come back or if he is going to come
But
back.
mom is always going to look for you.
Right, and he said to her in season 1, I'm never going to leave you.
He sure,
And he did.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he
So
loved her.
I feel bad for her, and I'm glad that they showed that moment of her in the car when they were driving past and just staring at him. Because I'm like, she must be hurting so bad right now. I feel bad for Alicia. But I've always loved Alicia, so we all know
You
this.
do love Alicia.
Yes,
She's
you
growing on me,
do.
but let's talk about Celia. This woman is, I mean, I love her as an actress. She's playing crazy very, very well. But she, so she believes that the infected are just changed. And
Yes.
that they're in just another state, right?
Right.
And so she's, you know, housing them and feeding them animals and
This is like
Lord
their
knows what else.
afterlife.
Exactly. And so she gets upset. She orders everyone to leave. And then, you know, because Nick got Luis for her, then it just has to be Strand to leave. And how evil to cast one person just out like that. And like, what did Strand do that was that bad that you get that kind of...
Well, she was going to throw everybody out.
She was gonna
But
throw
because of
everybody
Nick, he brought Louise back,
Right.
then she spared everybody else except for Strand, which I can understand because she essentially killed her son. How do we feel about her calling Thomas her son?
Yeah.
I understand that, you know, you were the housekeeper.
But was she talking about Thomas, or was she? Did
No,
she
she
feel
was
like
talking about Thomas.
She was
She's
because
talking about
I
Thomas.
thought I said okay. See, that's where I was lost because I
Okay.
really did think that she, because Luis died, I thought that she blamed Strand for that. Like, you killed my
No,
son.
because remember
no,
at
no.
the burial site, I'm sure you caught this as well. When she was talking, I guess giving a eulogy,
Okay.
she said, you know, I might have just been a housekeeper, but he was my son because his parents ignored him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
All right.
And they kind of established that like a couple of episodes ago, especially I think it was when Luis was explaining the whole conversation about his mom,
The relationship.
the relationship,
with him.
and how Celia basically raised the two of them together.
Okay, so she hates Strand and kicked him out of the compound, you know, and so, but Strand, well, he's got the boat if it's still there, like I said, because who knows if we locked it,
And I'm
if it
so
was locked
glad
down.
that somebody actually called that out. If it was still there, does that thing still have any gas? That's what I want to know.
I know. And why aren't you? Yeah, and why aren't you guys like siphoning gas to try to get into the, you know, to put in the? I mean, I don't even know how much is needed, but why wouldn't you try to like find another boat? You know, get like Daryl and like stuff a tube and get the gas going so you can put it in another boat. Because I'm like, you guys need to get out of here. I would have. This compound was a no-no to me from the very beginning, and I would have been like, okay, we're gonna eat a meal, we're gonna sleep in their bed, and then we're out. Like seriously.
We're going to eat some pozole.
We can have, right, exactly, and then we're
Yes.
out of there. But Madison had a great moment, and
Yes.
Madison is kind of that character to me, which I like her, but she's very dry to me. But it served her well tonight when she locked her in that cage.
Wait, I'm sorry, but not to cut you off, but before
Yeah.
we get there,
Okay.
I do kind of want to take a step back because she went to Celia sticking up for Strand.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
feel
she
like
did.
that has a
Yeah,
lot
she
of
did.
what she promised Thomas when he said, look out for him and you look out for her. So, and then I feel like at the burial site when she said, you know, we're friends, and he was like, oh, well, you're taking a stretch. Like, I felt like that was a little, I felt like that was a low blow. But she went to Celia to stand up for Strand.
But I think she also knew that he was coming from a hurt place, and
Yes.
so all that you're not my friend stuff.
No, I
she
get
was
that,
like,
which
yeah.
is which is essentially why she still went to Celia and was like, like you're making a mistake. Strand's a good person. We wouldn't be here without Strand.
But this
Right.
is the thing. He obviously was distancing himself in that particular moment, and then resurrected himself at the very
Yeah.
end.
You're right.
But
Like
let's talk about Madison.
Okay, so yeah, Madison. I mean, she was a hero.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
tonight.
I was just laughing because when Celia opened up that cage and then just sauntered in and walked in I was like, what?
With the key still in the door, and you
But
don't.
then we were all Madison is backing up, backing
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
backing
Get down there.
up.
Yeah.
I'm all, oh yeah, this bitch is going down.
Yeah, down. Like, throw her in the cage. You look.
Throw her in the cage.
Throw her down. You believe that these people that you've caged down here you're keeping them. You know, you believe that they're changed. Well, you could change too. So
But I
you go
feel
in
like
there,
Madison
too.
did this because she felt threatened because of Celia's relationship with her son.
I agree with
Not
you.
because of what she believed.
No,
I don't
right.
feel like she was like, Celia's crazy because she believes the dead aren't really dead.
This is definitely personal. This is definitely family.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely family oriented when it comes to Madison.
But Celia was going to go after her son, and she let her know up in the bedroom that Nicholas was going to join them. Pretty much, that's what she said. So basically, what you've done, bitch, is you've told me that you're about to take my son. So I'm most definitely locking you in a cage.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you kidding? You're going to take my child? No way.
But you know what? I just have to call this up. This was actually my favorite part of the whole episode.
Yeah,
I
mine
was
too.
like, go get her, Madison. Oh my gosh.
Oh
It
my
really
gosh.
was.
Why? Because she's fierce.
She is.
She is.
But I wanted to ask you guys,
fierce.
because we didn't really, like, just but now that we're ending it out and we are going to go on a break, what do you predict is going to happen when we come back?
Do we even know if who died is dead?
We don't know if
No.
Daniel's dead.
We don't know
I
if
don't
Celia's
believe
dead.
it. I don't believe that Daniel's dead.
You don't believe
I
he's dead?
refuse to believe it.
Okay.
I like him too much. If they kill him off, if he is killed off, I'll be so disappointed. I
Now,
like him.
Tim, you would be because you like Daniel.
I
but
do.
Tim, you don't think that Celia's dead. You
I don't
had
think
some
Celia's
questions
dead.
about.
I don't know
okay.
where I don't know where she could have possibly went.
She was that thing on the floor.
I don't think so because they were already eating beforehand. So they were eating
true.
something. So I don't know if that, and I feel like they wouldn't have eaten her that fast. I don't think she's dead. But then at the same time, I feel like, Daniel's dead because that place went up in flames so
It did,
fast.
and the fire was between his legs. It was
Yeah.
like between, I don't know.
And it was a good kind of like ending moment for him. Like he saw his
was.
wife and he like came to peace with whatever it is he did.
But then we have to deal with Ophelia going crazy when we come back, and I don't feel like dealing with that in August. That's just too much
Hey,
to deal
but
with in
it'll
the
give
summer.
Ophelia something to do.
It will. It will. I think that they're all like disconnected right now. I think they are going to come back together. I think Nick is doing his thing. Travis is doing his thing. But I do think it's going to come back together somehow, and they're going to spend more time in Mexico. That's for sure. So. There.
Well, guess we'll see in August.
Find out.
We shall see. But we're going to get to some questions, and we're going to get to some fear faces and some shout outs. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Go anywhere.
soon.
Woo!
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live. In case you missed it live.
Oh my God.
Figure that out.
High five. We had a crazy vampire threesome.
And you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like,
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes. Look at me, I'm dancing.
he was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
And we're like, inseparable.
These hoes ain't loyal.
You just went to a totally different direction on that one.
I love it. That's genius.
Billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
This might actually be a thing.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
Are we there yet? Can we talk about that?
We've been waiting all night.
I don't like to break nails.
You can't count anything out. It's been another awesome night at the Stream.tv, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys.
Why not, right?
Why not?
Hey, you guys, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Remember to click subscribe and also click like. I mean, this is the place for all your favorite after shows and all your favorite hosts. All right, we're going to get to some viewer questions and or comments. And so, Kira, what do we
Well,
have?
I was writing, and our friend Alice Bitch, hi girl, she basically asked a question of who do you guys think had the better character development since season 1?
I think you should go first because you answered first.
Oh, well, Strand,
Yeah.
like 100%. I think that his character development was, I was observing things about him tonight that I didn't see before. He was very straight-faced to me before, and, he kind of dealt with things in this, this business type of way and this, this regimented type of way. And tonight, he was really human, with burying, digging the grave and everything. And I just saw transformations, like even in his facial gestures, that It's just something's different.
I agree with
Domingo is
you, and
awesome.
I'm gonna have to actually throw in Madison in there. Just going back from season 1 when she saw her neighbor walker in the house and how that affected
Sue.
her. Yeah, Sue.
Sue.
And just coming from where she was to where she is now, I feel like it's a really great character development.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
For me, and Tim's gonna love this, I'm going to have to say Alicia. and obviously, because earlier on in the season, we just, Jocelyn and I were not fans. And just to see how she's progressed, I mean, I'll give it to Alicia this. I think that's for me.
Thank you.
I can agree
You're
with you.
welcome.
Yeah, I agree with you with that one. Alicia,
Yeah.
for sure.
We got good picks, you guys.
We do. We had some comments though, and I'm gonna steal this one from Twitter, my friend over here. Johnny Boy, hi Johnny Boy. He basically says that he does not feel for Chris. He lost it long ago, and kudos to Travis for finally accepting the situation. Finally, Travis has done something. What do you guys think?
I feel like Travis did something the last episode with when he was, or maybe 2 episodes ago, when he was being held hostage by Connor's group. And he told Alicia, don't worry about me, just go and take care of your mom. I feel like that was his mindset then. So it's kind of not surprising for me to be like, okay, well, he would obviously go off with Chris because he was ready to leave Alicia for the sake of the betterment of his son before.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise.
You? What do you think?
Travis?
Travis, this whole Chris. I think you've become more of a Travis hater than me.
Because I gave Travis a chance.
Yeah.
I was trying with Travis, and I'm not connect. You know what it is? It's not that I dislike him. I'm not connecting to Travis. I'm not connecting to him at all. Like if he died next episode, I'd be like, that sucks. But I would move on. I mean, I just am not connecting to him. He's not pulling me in at all. So, I mean, I'm glad that he's helping his son, but fan self in charge.
But I think if given the situation, I think if it was Madison, I think Madison would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as a parent, because I have a little one, I could understand where Travis was going.
But then at the
on
same
that.
time, then Reed called it. Reed said in the episode when they took them hostage that they would turn on Chris because he's not their family, but Travis obviously is his family. And I just don't want to give Reed that.
So you think Reed could see that like Chris was completely psychotic?
Obviously he called it. I just don't want to give him props.
See, that's what it's all about. But okay.
Come on, that was Jesse McCartney playing Reed. Yeah.
Was that our last question?
Yes, that was our
okay,
last
awesome.
question.
Let's go to shout-outs, Tim.
Yeah, we've got some awesome shout-outs this week. Harry Singh, who is an Ophelia fan, surprisingly. Wow. Because we all know how much we dislike Ophelia, which is awesome. We've got @gma_27 on Twitter. Thank you for your support and tuning in every week. And then we had a really interesting YouTube viewer. His name is Teets, T-E-E-T-S, on YouTube, who kind of came at us because we always say, who's going to die and who's the main character that's going to die, and he doesn't want someone to die. Which is, he's like, he doesn't, I guess he doesn't, his point of view is he doesn't understand why we want somebody to die so bad. When it further develops the story, then it's fine, but us just throwing names out there doesn't make sense to him.
Right.
To which me and Kiyra replied, we don't want someone to die. It's always, watching The Walking Dead, we've come to expect someone to die,
Right.
and we knew that it was going to happen. So that was our point of view on that. And I mean, this mid-season finale has come to prove that because
either
Daniel is gone or Celia is gone.
I think, and I understand what he's saying, and I think I answered.
You answered
him this way as well. But I was saying that a lot of how you feel about characters is in how strong the writing is, and how well those characters are developed. So, for me not to want anyone to die means that I have grown to connect with each one of the characters.
Right.
So the fact that I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a death just means that there's something that I haven't connected in the right way, and maybe it just hasn't fleshed out that much. So right now it's a zombie show, and I want a death.
You want somebody must
Somebody
die.
must die.
And just to throw in there, I hope Alex comes back in August.
Yeah, I do too. I think she will, though.
I think so too.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for your questions and your comments, and also for just participating with us and talking to us all week. It's really fun to talk to you on YouTube and Twitter. It really is.
Yes.
We love answering your questions, and no question is crazy. We love all of them. But we also just want to get to our giveaway.
Yay!
Because we want to I want to do it again. Get to our giveaway.
Yay!
I want to thank you guys, and we want to thank you guys for participating. You sent some awesome, awesome faces, and as promised, here are your fear faces featured right here on the show.
Yes.
And we're starting off with @Zello_police.
That was a good one.
Who sent the scariest face?
Yeah.
He looked so scary. If that was coming at me,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
that was a good
I
one.
pulled that one up on Twitter and I was all, oh my gosh.
I did too.
And then he sent two.
Yeah.
I think the one that we really liked though was the black
We
and
did.
white, but both
Yeah.
of them were
Yeah.
freaky.
They were really good. That was a really good picture. And then we also got a picture from @RagingCajunKiki, who is one of the admin on the Fear the Walking Dead fan group on Facebook.
Oh,
Yes.
And
cool.
so she sent an awesome picture too, and she just looked tattered, and she looked like the dead from, like, you know what I mean? Like it's been around a while. You know what I mean? So Raging Cajun Kiki, your picture was awesome.
Yes, and then I just have to say that my lovely mini me at home wanted to play as well, and I have to say that this little girl did her own fear face, and when you guys look at the picture, you guys looking at the picture right now, she did that all by
It
herself.
was super creepy. It was like the
Yeah.
Grudge realness, you
It
guys.
was. It was like The Grudge.
I was like, oh, that is creepy.
scary.
Creepy Asian baby.
She did
Creepy Asian baby.
all
she knew what
6
she
years
wanted.
old, all by herself. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we loved all the scary zombies, and as promised as well, we are going to send you your Fear the Walking Dead swag. So we will contact you and get you all the information. We'll get all the information so we can send everything to you. So thanks so much for participating.
Thanks, guys.
And we
Yay.
will have more to come. All right, so this was the mid-season finale. We're taking a break. I wish we weren't, because I kind of want to go through some of it, but it's
know.
cool. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break, so that's fine. But we want to continue the conversation, so we hope that you guys stay with us throughout the summer, continue the conversation with us. Let's talk, and let's come up with all kind of theories on what's going to happen when we pick back up. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, you know what? One
we-
last thing.
Oh,
one
we
last
have one
thing.
last thing.
We just
Surprise.
wanted. It's a surprise.
Oh, it is.
We also just want every week. We sit from the
Yes.
studio and we talk to you guys, but we also want to give out a special shout out to our production staff.
Absolutely.
Yes, Obed, Kevin, Nick, we love you.
Yes, we love you guys.
Without them,
Yeah.
this
would not exist.
This would not exist.
This
So-
lighting would not exist.
And they put up with us, which
Yeah.
is a
That's
lot.
true.
It really is. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. You guys have a wonderful summer, and we will see you in August when Fear the Walking Dead picks back up. All right,
Guys,
be
soon.
safe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.